So how do you defeat pessimism? Okay, how do you counteract it first of all, or how do you form positivity? Okay, let's say that you're in the middle of a bad attitude. Okay, let's say that you're in a rough patch of your life, and you can't see the positive aspects of things that are going on. Okay, or let's say it another way. Okay, you find it hard to be positive in a negative environment or in a negative patch of life. Okay, let's say you're going through something real tough right now. Okay, how do you find the good parts? How do you do that? Okay, so we're going to we're going to talk about this because your outlook shapes your results, the way you see things. Okay, so if we look at the subconscious tree. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning. How you doing? So if you look at the subconscious tree, okay, that's your subconscious beliefs. The roots of the tree is your subconscious beliefs. The trunk of the tree is your paradigm or your attitude, okay, your worldview, how you see the world, right? And your interpretation of it. And that affects your actions or the fruits of the tree. You will know them by their fruits. And what does that do? That brings results, okay? Because those actions are based on decisions that are made from your paradigm, from your attitude, from your worldview, the things that you believe about the world. Okay, and when that happens, you commit actions, and those actions give you results. Okay, your outlook shapes your results. So I made some notes today because I don't want to forget the important things. And when I'm in real time like this, sometimes I forget details. So, pessimism. What is pessimism? Pessimism is when you look at the world in a negative way. Okay, what causes this? Well, first of all, as humans, we have negativity bias. Okay, what does that mean? Negativity bias means we're hardwired for survival. Okay, it's a species thing, it's an evolutionary thing. So we already look at things, okay, our first impression, we're looking for the wrong things. We're not looking for the right things. We're looking at something going, okay, what's wrong? What's wrong with this? What's up with that? Okay? But this is for survival purposes, but you can't live in survival mode. Okay? Many people today are living in survival mode. Okay? We'll go over that another day. But here's how to change it. Okay? Because people ask me for solutions every week. Okay? And I work with executives. I work with, I do executive coaching, right? I do work with a lot of business people, doctors, attorneys. I work with business people, those kinds of people. And you'd be surprised how much they work consistently at changing their thinking because they need positive results. Okay, they can't just go through life allowing the negativity bias to control their lives. Okay, but the average everyday person may not be aware of this. Okay, and this is why we do the lives. Okay, this is why I do it for free every day. Just to wake people up because there's a lot of stuff going on in the world that becomes reactionary in people. Okay, and then more people suffer anxiety. Okay, this is the suffering. Yesterday we were talking about Gautama Buddha and how he said the illusion creates mental suffering. Because when you're a part of the illusion, okay, the physical world, and you're away from the spiritual world, you get caught up in these things here. Okay, so pessimism is not something that's unusual. Okay, it's just looking at the world through a critical eye instead of maybe a welcoming eye. Okay, so when someone expects something to go wrong, it goes wrong, right? And this is why I tell you guys, like when I get up in the morning, right, I always think like something's good just is just about to happen. Try that. Something good is just about to happen. And what you're doing is you're anticipating something good. Okay, does something always happen good when I do that? No, not always. But I feel better inside. Okay. And that's kind of like what happens with gratitude. Okay, when you say thank you, okay, it's not just a feel good thing because you say thank you. Okay, it's not just a thing that a formality that you go through. It's not like that. Okay, but what happens is it releases hormones in your brain. that actually create a feel good feeling. Okay, so you can actually feel better by expressing gratitude. It's not just a God thing or a spiritual thing or a mystical thing. Okay, it's not like that. Okay, so anyway, but when you're anticipating something to go wrong, you're looking. Your negativity bias is working. You're looking. You're searching. You're trying to find out, right? Okay, it's almost like when somebody offers you something, or when somebody offers to do something for you, you're like, okay, what's the catch, right? I mean, we all do that. I do that. I do that, and then I have to remind myself, right? So mindfulness is so important. Mindfulness is the knowing that these things happen, and telling yourself, okay, okay, back over here. Try the positive side now. Try. So you're constantly pulling yourself back in, reeling yourself back in, and going, no, I gotta look for the positive part of this. What's the good side? Okay, not what's the catch. What's the good part of this? Okay, and focus on that good part, because what you focus on intensifies. That's part of the law of attraction. Okay, so negativity narrows your vision. How does it do that? Well, if you're constantly thinking bad things, like bad things about something or negative about something or someone, your subconscious starts to repeat that, because now you're training your subconscious to be like that. What happens to you as a person? You start to become, right, what you think. Okay, as a man thinketh, so is he. All right, that's in the Bible. Okay, I know I make a lot of Bible references. This isn't church or anything. I'm not trying to push Christianity on anyone, but I'm just saying that that's my faith and that's what I look at. So I'm just using that as references, okay? Because you people that don't believe in God can read the Bible and get infinite wisdom. Okay, so it's a wisdom thing as well as a religious thing or religious dogma. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff that you guys can benefit from, even if you don't believe in God. Okay, check out Proverbs, check out all those things. There's a lot of wisdom in there if you don't believe in God. So anyway, so how else does negativity narrow your vision, and what's the process? How does it specifically work? Okay, let me break it down for you. Once you have a habit of negativity, once you have that habit that says, okay, I'm looking at life through a critical lens, or I'm looking at life, right, like that, and it goes into your subconscious. Your subconscious is wash, rinse, repeat. Okay. Now, the endless possibilities that once were like this start to shrink. Why? Because you're leaving out half. Half? Yeah, half. Okay. So you remember glass half full, glass half empty. Okay, so glass half full. Okay, you flip it, glass half empty. All right, this is perception. Your reticular activating system in your brainstem will filter whichever side you're not focused on. I mean, it'll filter out whatever side you're not focused on, and will filter in what you